Ooh, 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 ooh. Now that's cold and that's wet. And I don't know how long I'm going to go on doing that. A person with any sense would work out that there was going to be water splashing at the beginning of the show and they would stand out of the way. But no, I didn't do that. Hi, I'm Dorothy Wilhelm. This was Swimming Upstream Radio Show. And we have some interesting and fun ideas on different subjects for you today. So now to start with, we have our favorite crafty person, the Crafty Canadian, Sandra, the Crafty Canadian from Canada.
From Canada, yes. Hello, Dorothy.
Canada Sandra still likes us. So,
so far. We're watching.
That's right. Now, tomorrow as we record, tomorrow's a big deal because we're having our second No Kings rally tomorrow all across the country. And I understand in a number of other countries too. So we can see. But in the meantime, yes. What we're gonna be doing is we're looking at Easter is coming. And that in itself is not a surprise. I was talking to a friend yesterday who was born on April Fool's Day, which was the year she was born was Easter Sunday. Easter Sunday. And she said it has never, she's at 40 something, and she said it's never happened since. So we have to make our own magic. And we were kind of talking about what's important to have on Easter, talking about the fact that when we grew up, you made your own fun. Nobody was going to buy anything. But again, as both of us felt that we didn't know we were poor. Nobody told us. And, if nobody had anything at all, therefore we had whatever we could make. We'd make or do something with. And I myself have come to suspect that it was pretty hard on my folks. But
yeah.
How about you?
The funny thing is about using what we had on hand.
Yeah.
Because now it's we got to go to the dollar store for this, or we've got to pick. There was so many scraps around. We didn't hesitate to use that old piece of wire, chicken wire things, and everybody had things in their yard that grandma made or the kids made, and I really cherish that. I try to do that with my grandchildren. It keeps them busy, and they're very proud of the things that they produce because we didn't go up to the store. We made it with things out of grandma's shop.
Well, you could have gone to the store if you wanted to, but there wouldn't have been anything there.
Well, in our day, no, that's certainly the thing. But, our grandkids come around and they want to go out.
Yeah.
So I try to pretend that we have everything that we need here and try to, build things on that they can still go, wow, that was fun to do. And
well, now I don't know if you remember, but I can remember very well going out with my mom. I must have been about 5 or so. And we went up on this hill above the house, and there were a whole lot of dandelions there. And we spent the whole afternoon digging up dandelion greens, which made a wonderful, nutritious dinner. Yeah, see, we had that little to eat, but it seemed like fun. It was, it was something we did together. And,
and picking berries in the Okanagan. I always remember the size of that bucket and the little tiny berry, and it just kept going, and you're talking and you're moving around, and all of a sudden you got enough for pie, and then you got enough for pie and jam, and it comes together pretty fast where that, I think, being in the moment, it's always a now generation, now. Well, some things, you just take time and they're good.
Well, one thing I do think that we've missed out on for kids now is they don't get to learn how to solve problems, because just as you say, we could pick up a piece of wire one place and if you couldn't find anything, you imagined it, But now everything, you go to the store, and we were the ones. I'm not criticizing them. We're the ones that set things up that way. But I think it would be fun to see a little more making things together and that kind of thing, which is what you do when you're not traveling to Asia and that kind of thing. I understand you're on your way out next to, where are you going next time?
We are off to Vietnam, Cambodia, Thailand, Malaysia, and then I'm going to see my wonderful, beautiful family in Australia for a month or so. Yeah, I think we're going in the right direction. We're going southwest.
Well, I hope so. I don't know. We lived in Bangkok for 3 years, and so if you get to Soi 65, look around. I understand our house is a Starbucks now.
Oh, well, I'm not a coffee drinker, but I'm really looking forward to it. We've traveled extensively, and this is the one corner that we've been waiting for to see. So I'm very excited.
Well, that's wonderful, and I hope you have a great time. And before you go, so that means you won't be with us for a while. When are you going?
I'm leaving the 26th of April, and I'm back the end of June. And it's our longest vacation since having grandkids, and of course we've got a dog. So part of me is going to be homesick, and part of me is going to be going, wow, I get to see this.
It will be just fine. No, that's really good. So we'll see to it that you come back then with some things that we can do connected to the things that you see.
I expect a whole new world to be opened.
There should be that the wrappers for that new book. That ought to be like a beginning and end, and then you can put some regular things in the middle in there. That would be good. So, given all that, what are we going to do?
Well, I thought that it is spring. My garden is blooming like crazy, and I'm usually out there digging away and planting my peas and all the things that the fluorescence, I think that, what's that yellow plant that we have everywhere?
Forsythia. If I was going to know you were going to speak about forsythia, I have a pastel painting I did 4 feet by 5 feet of forsythia, and we could have shown it to them.
I think we call it broom as well.
No, that's not Scotch broom. That's a different thing. Well, now you might call it. I can't tell you what you call things, but here a broom is a different thing.
Well, I do know from the gardening courses that I've been taking, as soon as that yellow flower comes out, everything can go in the ground. So Earth knows. You can read the books and check the temperatures if you want, but you watch that plant, and of course the moon cycle. Anyways, I'm not out there planting peas because I won't be here when they're ready. So what I thought I would do is put a few friendly faces in my garden just to spruce up the brown spots.
Oh, cute.
So these are little kids that I made out of a plastic pop container and a couple of pieces of wire.
Turn it up again so we can see. So it's you said a pot container? Or?
Yeah, it's a soda pop, a Coca-Cola.
Oh, yeah. You mean this a bottle?
We call it pop.
No, pop bottle.
Pop bottle. So, and I've got another one here too. This little one, she's holding a heart that I got for my Valentine's
cute
bouquet. And she's a little bit different. She's got a little bit wilder hair, and I put some beads in her hair. But you can see it's a bead on the cap.
Yeah.
And then I've simply put a couple of wires through and made that pop bottle. This one's very clear that you can see.
That's good.
Isn't she cute? And she just sits in the planters, waiting for the plants and flowers to fill in around her.
So now are both of these planter things, or are they like you would hang them on?
Well, I put this one in a pot because it's got my hosta in it that won't come up for quite a while. So I like to fill things up and make them look all colorful. And so this one actually does just poke in. But this little girl, she could be dancing. She could be hanging from a wire.
We know in your secret heart you like her better.
She was my first love. And she was hanging on the chandelier in my dining room while I was dressing her up. So on top of all the bling, she just kind of rolled around and I found this lace was a little piece of fabric that I had underneath some other stuff on the same roll. So I was quite pleased to find that. And then of course I've added stickers and little bows, which I've discovered these little bows are really, really hard to tie, but you can get a bag of 100,000 from Amazon for about $10 delivered. So
are you going to show us how to make that?
Okay, and I'm not going to disassemble her.
No, I wouldn't.
But I will this other girl because she's a little bit friendlier and
she won't take it badly.
She won't take it as badly. So I'll just remove this heart. And this heart, it's just a little heart that came in my bouquet from my Valentine's. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to take off her head. So I'm just going to unscrew this cap. Because seriously, her head is a bead attached to the cap. So
turn it up so she's the actual cap of the bottle.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Now I just put a little hole in the cap so I could string the bead and make her hair. This little girl here is styrofoam head, which I bought a bag of styrofoam heads, little balls from the dollar store. And the beads came from the dollar store too. So, but you could certainly make them out of clay. Mm-hmm. There's nothing from stopping you to attaching whatever head you want to onto the cap. And this one is a glue gun attachment. And this one, I put a little hole in it and put the knot through for the hair to hang. And then I gave her a few beads because I thought that she'd be pretty cute hanging out.
How you fasten the figure onto the pop bottle?
Well, this one, I put a little hole in the pop top and then shoved a knot through. Because the bead, of course, has a hole in it. Now, these styrofoam heads are just little styrofoam balls. So sure. I've just glued it onto the cap. And she'll come off, too. Her head will unscrew. Isn't that a thing we used to say, Dorothy? I'd lose my head if it wasn't screwed on.
Yes, that is a thing we used to say.
So here you go. So then again, and I've just used felt pen. Give her a little angel face and a smile. The simpler, the better. You know.
Would you consider pretend Easter dinner? Do you have a lot of the family come for Easter dinner or friends, or do you do just small group?
We have a small family, our daughters and 3 granddaughters, and they usually come. I call them command performance dinners. I'm not sure if I'm doing this one this year just because I don't want leftovers. Yeah. Yes, so, no. But when they come over, you know what? I always have a couple empty pop bottles.
I was going to ask about that. If everybody would get something, you could do them with the smaller bottles for little place settings, couldn't you?
Absolutely. And even little it's the same technique. You can use a plastic water bottle, certainly. If you're not afraid of, not getting your deposit back, my husband counts them. Is she going to look 10 cents worth?
Well, 10 cents is quite a lot these days.
Right? So yeah, okay, I've taken her head off, and as you can see, I've spray painted her butt. And this one I made a little bit more fancy and formal, and she's got a little bit more of a fiesta look. So cut your pop bottle however you want to. It's so it's easy. You don't need a special knife or anything. Just your regular scissors will do. They're very thin. So that's how you would do that. And I just went around. I didn't measure or anything. It's very organic. And of course, this one has more lace on it, and I've cut her flat across the bottom. So you can scallop the edge. And then I've spray painted these, Dorothy, but you don't have to. This dollar store tempera paint works great. And as long as no one goes and starts rubbing on it, even in the rain that we have in the Northwest here, they last a long time outside. These ones I've spray painted just because I have numerous cans of spray paint. And of course, spray paint, if you get down to a little bit, they won't work anymore. So you may as well use them up while you can.
Well, now what about, this is all very good. And it is plastic. And of course, plastic really can't be organic, by the way.
Well, no, organic form.
But what about decorating eggs? Do you decorate eggs in the old-fashioned style or what?
I do. You want to know a secret?
Maybe.
I'm so glad you asked. Because everyone thinks it's difficult, but it's not.
Oh, how pretty. Hold it a little closer if you can. Yeah, that's very, very pretty. How did you do that?
Now, this is a real eggshell that was blown. I blew it out the top and bottom. So, and that's the most difficult part. This is felt pen.
Oh.
I did it all with felt pen. Felt pen.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Aren't they charming? And seriously, it's felt pen. And then I sprayed it with a clear glaze.
That's lovely.
Right.
What a great idea. I never even thought of that.
And well, my husband's Ukraine, and we've got some wood painted ones and like real painted eggs. And I'm looking at them as an artist thinking, I don't think so. But the permanent felt pens, seriously, you've heard your president talk about felt pens.
Oh, you know that we have.
But I mean,
I'm easier when he talks about felt pens than a lot of things.
It's a beautiful, easy process. And the thing is when you got your little hole there. So when you blow out, it's a raw egg, and it does take a little bit of skill and practice to do. But I have found that you can use the holes to put on a stick, and then you can put them in a vase if you like. Now
if you wanted to, you certainly could. And I'm glad that I'm glad to have you emphasize that it is the inside is blown out, because you wouldn't want to eat them. Like some people decorate whole eggs, but you've got to be really careful that what you use to decorate them with is non-toxic, and so you can't be sure. But this way, there's no problem. So
absolutely,
it really, I think that's a great idea. Now, and another interesting. Okay, you got another one there.
Another egg.
You just
I have
hidden over there, huh? Oh, look at that.
No, and the simple design, but again, it's felt pen.
It's pretty. It's very pretty.
And then of course I did do the shellac.
Oh, it's good to mention that. Yeah.
Yeah, they've been sealed with the lacquer gloss. But Dorothy, these have been sitting on my desk for years. I don't even want to tell you how dusty.
No, that's okay.
So they're really a permanent thing, and everyone can do one. Easy.
They're really pretty, and I think much better than my famous story when I was on Cairo radio here in Seattle. I had to give, just like you do, instructions for some craft item every week, and so I told how to make the filled eggs. The same thing that you've done, only with Jell-O inside.
Right.
And then the Jell-O would harden, and you blow out the egg. The Jell-O would go in and solidify, and it would be, and it was good. And I said, it's so easy and fun, and so I proceeded to give instructions, And in those days, you got real mail and real responses from people. And this lady called in and she was crying. And she said, and you said it would be fun and it would be easy. And it wasn't fun and it wasn't easy. And I felt really bad.
Every craft comes with a warning label now.
Well, yes, that's right. So actually, I think I really, and another thing I found out just yesterday, I was doing crafts here and just doing regular egg coloring. You can make the color more intense by adding another spoonful of vinegar. You know how you put vinegar in the colors, add vinegar and another about a half a tablet of the color that you're using, and it will make the colors more brilliant.
Yeah,
I think that's lovely.
It allows the color to penetrate the eggshell a little bit more. Yeah.
Well, you've got about 3.5 minutes, so let's hear it.
Going back to raw eggs can be bad for you.
Oh yeah, well you
please don't eat the egg.
We wouldn't in those days. We did. I mean, you got to
pre-refrigeration and
No, now you certainly wouldn't. And believe me, it was more trouble than if you had your heart. In fact, you can't do it, so don't think about it.
No, I won't. But Dorothy, with any of these crafts, I think it's all about having something exciting to make and something that you can share very easily with friends and family when you're gathered around. We don't do a lot of game playing in our house. I have all the regular games, but we end up sitting around and doing these silly things.
Well, it's something everybody looks forward to. My kids love stories, so we would read stories quite a bit, or we would make them up. Yeah. And that is fun, how about making up an Easter story? Or now it's so easy to write a book that, how about writing a book about our family at Easter, or the Easter bunny came and this is all he left was
these cute little girls. Well, if you stick these in the garden far enough, you can hide chocolates under her skirt. And that would be a new surprise here.
Yeah, I would never. No, I don't think I did that.
Just remember to keep track, because one year we were looking under the porch, and it must have been August or September, and we're looking under there, and there was a couple of hard eggs, and nobody wanted to go in and get them.
Oh, no, absolutely not. So, well, my dear, we have managed to talk ourselves through another Crafty Canadian segment. And now we won't be seeing you next weekend, but the month after. We'll see you.
Yeah. I'll be here in July, but follow me. I'm on Facebook, and I'll be posting things that I find around the world, and like homemade crafts and things. I will bring home ideas and lots of stories to share.
It's okay then, and I give you a word to get you started. Sawadee-ka. And you find out Sawadee-ka. Find out what it means. No, find out what it means. That isn't it. It's a common phrase, and you will hear it in Thailand. Okay. And so you find out what it is and bring it back to me.
I hope that I have the right tones, or it could be a whole different conversation.
Yeah, you do sing it. It's almost like all of the Asian languages. You sing at a different note, like a word means a different thing at a different level, which is interesting,
Yes, very
much. Well, have a
so.
marvelous time. Thank you for all the great ideas, and let's just see what we can cook up next. That will be good. And as you know, I always say this has been an SOB radio production. SOB, of course, stands for Spunky Old Broads, and all of the hosts are women past 50. We deserve it.
Absolutely.
So, thank you so much, Sandra, and we'll see you again soon.
Thank you, Dorothy. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter to you too.